Hi, welcome to our video. We're going to tell you a little bit about what we're going to be doing on our forthcoming workshop. But before we do that, I think we should introduce ourselves. So, Lindsay, did you want to go first?
Yeah, hi, I'm Lindsay. I'm a counsellor. I've been in private practice since I qualified in 2018. And I also run the Business of Counselling, which is a website where I host my workshops to help counsellors get to grips with the business side of their practice. So I'm a counsellor and a business coach, I guess you could say. What about you, Andy? Do you want to give us a bit of background?
Yeah, okay. So, not dissimilar from the perspective that I'm a counsellor, I'm in private practice. And before that, I've run quite a few businesses and got a bit of a background in marketing. And I found the marketing of my practice fairly painless. I was very lucky for that, and then started passing that on to others. And that's how I started doing workshops and coaching counselors and therapists to build their practice. And then you and I said, hey, wouldn't it be great if we put together the business and the marketing all in one boot camp? And that's what we're offering.
That's exactly what we're doing. Yes, this is our first one-day boot camp. I'm really excited about bringing this together because I think it really does encompass everything you need to know about either getting your private practice up and running or, kickstarting your practice if you're already there. So what is it you're going to be covering in your section of the workshop, Andy? Do you want to just give us an overview of the sections that you're doing?
Sure. So I'm going to be bringing what I normally do on my workshop into this, but with you being able to facilitate more questions and interaction, I hope. And we're doing, as we've discussed, a maximum 12 delegates, I think, online, which I think is a lovely number because certainly for my part of it, and I've seen you work, we want interaction, we want questions, we want people to be able to go away and tailor this to what they do. Yeah. So I've got my slides on the right, so I'm looking slightly off. So the objectives of what I'll be doing is when people leave, I hope they have increased marketing knowledge. Probably as important, if not more important for me, is that they can implement that. Because you can have all the knowledge in the world, but can you actually put it into action? So I'm hoping when people leave, they can put that marketing knowledge into action. There's a piece before we go into what do you do and how do you do it in my work, and that's what's getting in the way, what's the blocks, what's the discomfort. So what I really hope people go away with is more knowledge, but more comfort. So yeah, and I cover a number of different ways to market. I'll just whiz through those really quickly. And my hope would be, and what tends to happen is people go, oh yeah, those two or three are ones that I can definitely get better at or even introduce. So I might run through 9, 10, 11, and we'll talk about people's experience and your experience and mine and the delegates. And in doing so, I think people will find out what's working for others, what's working for them, what's their blocks. So I go through people's websites and we touch on that. How do you need a website? How do you make that work? How do you do it? Do you do it yourself? Do you get people in? So we explore that. The directories, what's working, what isn't for people, and why not? How can this person have a directory entry and get nothing, and then other people are filling it just with that directory? So we dig into that a little bit. The rest of the World Wide Web, how can you make that work for you? And again, I just want to stress that these are possibilities for people. I've worked and coached with people who don't even go on the internet, don't even work over there, but then I've also work and have colleagues who are doing everything on social media. So that's the next one that we come to. We explore social media, and we explore people's return on the amount of effort they're putting into that. So some people seem to be able to get that right, don't they? And they're getting a good return. Some people are spending hours on it and getting nothing, so what's going on there? I'm going to be exploring employment assistance programs because they can be a source of, and I'm sure yours may touch on that too. I know there's quite a lot of crossover in this, Lindsay. So we explore that. I've done a little bit of research on that recently. Who's paying what? How do you get it? Do you need to be accredited? The answer, no. For some of them, you don't. And what models are there around that? Networking, online and offline, very effective for me. I think that's probably one of the best things I've done. How can you do that? PR and public relations. I've been quite lucky to have quite a lot of press, and there's a few things that I can talk about. It's not difficult that can happen for people. Niching or not to niche, or is there a third way? You don't have to be all the way over there. in niche land, but you don't be over here in a generalist. I think there's a midpoint that some people are more comfortable with. We talk about that. We talk about print, the role of print, you know, cards, leaflets, those kind of things.
Yeah.
And then anything else we haven't covered. So there's a whiz of what we kind of cover. And out of that, I hope people go away with, I can do this, this, and this. And then I talk about how to put that in some kind of plan so you can work with it and bring it into your practice. That. And then I touch on some of the things I see floating around the marketing field that's not working for therapists. You occasionally see on a forum of, I've done this, it's cost me a lot of money, it hasn't worked. So we get that out there of these things you might want to avoid or be very cautious with. That's what we look at.
Yes, I think that's the thing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we're covering there, but I think the real takeaway from it is the idea that you don't have to do everything. It's about picking what suits you and what's going to work for you and what is comfortable for you, so that mindset is really important. I'm aware that when I started out in private practice, it was this kind of, I must have a Facebook page, an Instagram page, a Twitter page, I must have all of these things, and I couldn't keep up with that amount of stuff, but B, I didn't really know what I was doing. So you're wasting, it's that, like you say, that return on investment. It's all that time that you're pouring into things and what are you getting back, and it's really how to sort of prioritize that. And actually that leads quite nicely into the sort of stuff that I'm doing. So I'm going to cover kind of two topics. And the first one is this idea of business and counselling. How do you make a business out of counselling? Is it even ethical to have a business out of counselling? There's a lot of people, you see people saying things like, like a lot of payment issues around counselling, non-payment, payment in advance, all these sorts of things. And, people saying, I've never run a business before, I've never done this. And, people get into counselling generally because they want to help people, not because they want to be an accountant or be a CEO. And it's so that the first part that I'm going to cover is really how to get your head around owning your business and getting comfortable with that, and getting not just comfortable with that, but learning to enjoy that can be an enjoyable part. And the second one is really just looking at some of the nitty-gritty of the business finances, how to record that, how to deal with the tax implications, and again just reducing that stress and overwhelm about the business side of your practice. So that's the kind of thing that I'm going to do. But I think, like you say, there is a lot of overlap there, because a lot of it is about that mindset. It is about, excuse the cat, sorry. It is about that mindset of, there we go. It is that mindset of getting your head around, this is my business and this is how I want to run it, and that's okay. You can run it, you can do whatever you want to do. If you want to be on Facebook, you can be on Facebook. If you want to, like you said, concentrate on the directories and not so much on the web, then you can do that. You can, all these stuff, everything is possible. And I think that's what I'd like people to take away from the workshop.
Yeah, I really like that. I remember we had the conversation about what we're going to call this, and one of the sort of titles I had in my head, and we're not doing it, but because I never brought it, but as you said, then it's your practice your way, and we're going to discuss some ways that you might do it. And the takeaway message for me will be, let's get comfortable with one or two ways that work for you, because they work, particularly if they work for you. I like that. It's very much that. And I like that. And hopefully that'll run through the day, and we'll have that community feel to the workshop, and hopefully it'll be nurturing and facilitative of that feel. Yeah,
and that's exactly why you see keeping the number short, keeping the number small helps us really focus in on what people want to do. So we're not just out there listing a list of things. We can really have that space for delegates to talk about what works for them, and where they're comfortable, where their discomforts are, and what's blocking them, and really sort of help them build their plan of how to move it forward. So the workshop, so we're going to be running it. It's a one-day workshop. It's running. This one's running on Saturday the 11th. Of September, and we'll put all the details at the end. Basically, it's on Eventbrite and it's on my Business of Counselling website. So that's www.businessofcounselling.com, and you'll find the Private Practice Bootcamp page on there. Or if you search on Eventbrite for Private Practice Bootcamp with Andy and Lindsay, you'll find us on there. But like I say, we'll put the links up at the end.
And it's a full day, but we're going to be having breaks. And I guess I just want to say something about the price that we're charging, because and I think I really feel we're offering good value, to be honest. To 85, I think it's really good value. And I know I'm going to say that, but it was important for us to offer good value. And I believe and I feel that you will take away enough to run with. You know, this is not like come to this and then you need to join this or this or this. This is hopefully what you can take away and run with.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that, don't you?
Yeah, I think it really is. I mean, the idea is that this isn't a sort of an academic exercise. This is a real workshop. It's hands-on, it's practical, and you're going to go, we hope you will go away feeling, you know, enthused and excited about your ideas, and that will help you start to implement them and really get to grips with your practice.
Yeah, enthused and confident.
And confident. Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, really looking forward to it as well. We hope to see as many of you there as possible. Well, up to 12, but you know, it would be great to see some people there. So yes, we'll put all the links up, and you can have a look at that. If you need any more information, you can always contact us directly with any questions. We'll be more than happy to answer that. All right. So I guess we'll see everyone there.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye.